Hello and welcome to the first Not So Secret Society podcast in association with Broadway Baby at the Edinburgh Fringe. I'm Rufus and this is Ben.
I'm Ben.
That's Ben, and we're going to be chatting about cabaret and variety and all the sort of stuff that's happening at the Fringe in that genre. I am very excited to be here in the Loft Bar at the Gilded Balloon. It's really nice.
Lovely.
It's lovely. It's very quiet, but it's raining out, so we're indoors. Otherwise, we'd be sitting out on the lovely balcony.
With the AstroTurf.
With the AstroTurf and the white garden furniture.
Yeah. You don't see enough grass on roofs.
You don't see enough grass on roofs at all.
I don't think so.
I don't see many roofs.
No, near that actually. It's probably the highest it'll be.
Yeah, I don't see it. But it's lovely. If you do have the privilege to visit the Loft Bar, take advantage of it. It's a really nice place to hang out. So Ben, Fringe.
Yay!
Yay, Fringe.
Back again for another year.
Another year at the Fringe. This will be my, I think, 11th or 12th year at the Fringe in a row.
This will be my, no, more than that.
More than that?
13 years.
13,
so
well, I've
you've
done more than you. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I have no idea then.
yeah,
It's all blended in together.
there you go.
Man. So yeah, is there anything you're excited about catching at the Fringe this year?
No.
No,
No.
nothing at all.
Not really, no.
No.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked though.
Yeah, you haven't. No. Yeah, this is the thing. Ben's just not that interested in checking stuff out. He just views the Fringe programme as a big heavy book that he doesn't want to read.
It's like trying to read a phone book. Who would want to read a phone book?
I suppose. If your name was Aaron A. Addison, I bet you'd check it out the phone book.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
totally.
you'd be like, check me.
Yeah, I'm right at the top.
Yeah.
Numero uno. That'd be your phone number as well.
That
One.
would be. I suppose it's like the people who go in the comedy section and call their show it's the comedy show.
Yeah, they all know what they're doing. And there's like 4 of them with different amounts of A's in them.
Yeah.
You know what you're up to.
It used to be the triple A comedy show, and then the quadruple A comedy show, and it was just comedy.
Yeah, I think they're so smart.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't work on me because I didn't even read the bloody thing.
Yeah.
No, I just usually just follow about with people that know what they're talking about, and then
like me,
like yourself,
like me,
and stumble across stuff.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do the Fringe, I think.
Do you know, it's a great way to do the Fringe. A lot of people bemoan going up the mile, and you know, they're like, oh, I hate flyering, I hate getting flyered, I hate it when people come up and these desperate people try to sell the show. But some of the best shows I've ever seen at the Fringe have been people coming up to me and saying, our show's great.
Yeah, definitely.
And it doesn't start with 15 A's.
Well, they don't need you flying, you see, because they're right at the front of the programme.
The only reason they're going, is because they're desperate for you to come and see their show.
Indeed. Yeah, no, I think I do that. I know people that sit in the programme and plan out their whole day, and I think that just sounds like a really stressful day at the Fringe, running about the place. Well, just go and have a pint and see what's happening.
Last night I met a couple who have booked to see 104 shows this Fringe.
I mean, good. That'd be good. You can say you saw a lot at the Fringe.
Yeah.
Specifically 104. But my God, that must be a pain in the arse.
They'd already seen 29, and that was their 6th show of the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Madness.
Isn't it? If I saw 104 shows, people would ask me, what did you see? And I'd be like, I don't know. I don't remember.
You'd forget.
I'd be like, I'm pretty sure I saw a one-man monologue, group, circus, dance, music, you know, comedy stand-up show about, you know, Rudolf Hess.
Well, that's it. They would all blend together, and then you would have seen the most amazing show. What show did you see at Edinburgh Fringe? I saw this great show. It was just called The Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah.
It was like 3 weeks long, and I loved it.
The cast was amazing. There was like 50,000 people in it.
And you went from venue to venue. It was one of these prominent pieces. It was great. We should write that.
We should actually. The Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Audience members have to give us £1,000.
Yes.
Well, actually, more than that. They need to give us £1,000 just for accommodation.
That's true.
We take you back to a squalid flat that you have to share with 30 other people.
Mainly jugglers.
Yeah. Okay, this section of the play is called Flyering. We're going to take you up the mile, and you have to give out these pieces of paper. It's like a challenge.
Whoever gives out the most, well done.
Well done.
You
Well
get
done.
nothing.
Nobody will praise you, and if you're lucky, you'll get 3 stars.
If you don't get spat on, good job.
And then at the end of the day, we sit them all down and we read out short critiques of how shit they were.
John, where's John? 1 star.
Nobody really believed you, John. You just weren't coming across.
It's a true Fringe experience.
Yeah, that's next year's Fringe show.
Ah, well, each to their own. If that's what you want to do in the Fringe, then go for it. But nah, I'd rather just come and see what's happening. It's
going to be a nice way to spend the month of August, though. Just like, you don't go on a summer holiday. You just come to Edinburgh and you see 100 shows.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic way to experience the arts. But I mean, I review and I see maybe 4 shows a day, and it kills me. It's really, really tough. But yeah, that's fantastic. So, well, things that I'm excited about. Things I've seen that I've been excited about. I saw Briefs Sweatshop, Briefs Factory Presents Sweatshop.
All right, yeah.
Which is from the wonderful Briefs that you've seen in the past. Yep. Well, this is their show it's not like their circus cabaret. This is a variety show that's programmed by the Briefs team. It's hosted by Miss Frisky from Frisky and Mash.
Oh. She's a pro.
She is a pro. She is the best.
She is the best.
She is the best. She
Creme
is
de la creme.
hashtag Fringe Crush.
Yes, she is indeed.
Yes. She's hosting and she's spectacular. And they've got a lot of fantastic sort of high-end burlesque cabaret and circus guests. And they have a wonderful little bit of shtick in the show where they have a stand-up comedian in the middle, but because it's the sweatshop, they make their stand-up comedian perform on a treadmill, which is just genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like run-along comedy. I don't know.
It's a running gag.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, it was just fantastic. It was a really great show. 4 stars.
Excellent.
Absolutely. Really tight. And also they do some wonderful charity work during the show. They give you the opportunity to donate to charities against sweatshops in poor countries, which is great. Cabaret with a conscience. I love it. What else have I seen that was good? The Remains of Tom Lehrer I saw, but we'll talk about that later because we're actually going to speak to Adam Kay from that show in another episode. Things I'm excited to see. I really want to see Grace, which is a dance, physical theatre and circus piece that just looks spectacular, but I don't really know much about it because I haven't seen it yet. Probably going to go and see Piff the Magic Dragon.
And of course, the loser of America's Got Talent.
The loser of America's Got Talent. Although some would say the winner.
Yes, I would say the winner.
The winner, yeah. Piff's fantastic. We've got history with Piff going way back.
Oh, we go way back. Me and that dog.
Yeah, that dog.
Best pals.
Yeah. Mr. Piffles. Yeah, Piff, for those who don't know Piff's work, he's a phenomenal stage magician and an incredible close-up magician who performs on stage dressed in a dragon costume.
It's a bit grumpy dragon.
A grumpy dragon, although some would argue that he's not in costume, he is just a grumpy dragon.
Well, he is a grumpy dragon.
He is a grumpy dragon.
With a penchant for princesses.
Well, he has a penchant for princesses, yes. And he also has a chihuahua called Mr. Piffles. Who is the world's only levitating chihuahua.
He is indeed. He does a wee bit levitating. Doesn't look too fussed on it.
No, he's very laid back.
Yeah, he's very chilled out. Little
very relaxed animal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Piff is Piff the Magic Dragon is just a show that's well worth seeing if you like magic and you like grumpiness and you like chihuahuas.
Yeah. What about the Creative Martyrs?
The Creative Martyrs.
Have you seen any of their stuff?
I've not seen their show yet because they've only done 1 performance so far.
Kabakunst, I believe.
It's Kabakunst, yes. Darkly satirical cabaret. I'm really looking forward to seeing their show. I see them every year, and they're always a 4 or 5 star show. Incredibly underrated, really unknown. Yet they were Time Out Soho Theatre Cabaret Award nominees in the first year of that award, and they've been a face on the cabaret scene since before I can remember.
A big white face.
Two big white faces. On the cabaret scene. So yeah, if anyone's interested in darkly satirical cabaret, then Kabakunst by the Creative Martyrs.
Yes,
it's a fantastic show to see. That's Kabakunst with a K, to show that it's real cabaret. Real cabaret. So today we are going to be speaking to Ben Dali, stage hypnotist.
Yep. No, I'm Ben.
You're Ben.
He's different.
He's a different Ben.
Ben.
Yes, you're 2 different Bens. You will be on different chairs.
Yes.
Drinking different drinks.
Not to be treated as the same.
No, we will not treat you as the same person because that would be Benist.
It would be.
Yes.
It would be. We don't all look the same.
We won't do that, no. So Ben Dali is a stage hypnotist. He has a show called Strictly Come Trancing.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nice, clever brain works.
It's good, isn't it? You need a good title at the Fringe.
Definitely.
You need something that catches people's imagination, and I believe there's a TV show which is somewhat popular with a similar name.
I don't know.
Yeah,
know.
Ben should sue them.
I should sue them.
Yeah, not you, the
Oh,
other Ben.
another Ben, right,
Different
okay.
Ben.
Okay, fair enough.
Two different Bens.
I
okay?
didn't really know why I was.
What I'll do is when he gets here and I'm speaking to Ben Dali, I'll look at him
Okay.
and speak to him, and then when I'm speaking to you, I'll look at you and
Right.
speak to you.
Okay, I'll just keep my eyes on you.
Yes, and then you'll know which
Then
person
I'll
I'm
know.
speaking to. And if Ben speaks to you, that's okay. You're allowed to speak back to him.
Well, if he speaks to me, I just need to look at you to make sure that you're not speaking to me at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that makes sense. So you look at Ben, I'll look at Ben. We'll all look at each other and we'll communicate.
Right.
But he is a hypnotist, so don't look at him too closely.
Right. Okay. Because I'm susceptible to that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
you are.
Been known to eat a potato.
Yes, you have, because a terrible stage hypnotist that you know did that to
You
you.
did.
He did.
Yeah.
Nobody would
Yeah.
like that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a tasty potato though, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. At first, yeah, it tasted of apple, and then very quickly I realised that it was just a potato.
It was just a potato.
Mhm.
Well, what we'll do is when Ben gets here, we'll ask him if he thinks he can make you eat a potato as well.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
See that, yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately we don't have a clip or anything of Ben's show because it's a stage hypnosis show, so it's very hard to do. So in a moment we'll get Ben to tell us all about his show and how that works. So here it is, our interview with Ben Dali. So here we are with Ben Dali, Strictly Come Trancing, stage hypnotist at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe 2016. Hi Ben, how are you?
I'm great, thanks for having me, Rufus. Wonderful.
A delight. We were a little confused earlier because Ben was worried about the fact that we had two Bens.
I wasn't sure who Rufus would actually be talking to, and maybe I was going to answer your questions, which would have been really confusing because I don't know the answers
That's
to your
fine.
questions.
I can interview you.
Well, this is what we said. We said that he could interview you and you could interview me, and then I would know that you were talking to him, and
Yes.
it'd be
Or,
fine.
or we could just pause the tape, I can take you to one side, hypnotise you and tell you everything you need to know and you can answer for me.
You know, you probably could do that. We were discussing earlier how I've been made to eat potatoes before.
Ben's very susceptible to
Partly I'm very
hypnosis.
susceptible.
Great, that's how I like my interviewers.
It's even better for the reviewers though. 5 stars.
But I don't need to hypnotise them to give me 5 stars, Rufus.
Of course
Oh,
not.
yes.
So tell us about your show, Ben. It's fantastic that there's some hypnosis on the Fringe, and you're kind of a trendsetter for hypnosis.
I am. So I did the only hypnosis show last year. I brought Strictly Come Trancing, which is with PPH's Free Fringe in the Liquid Room. It was last year. I was the only hypnotist at the festival, and it's been a couple of years since there was a hypnosis show. I was doing my research before, and this year there's 4. So I think people heard that I did really well last year, and they thought maybe hypnosis is on its way back in, and I want to help pioneer that by coming back every year and building up the reputation for myself and the art form, and trying to get a following for
Of
hypnosis.
course. Because a few years ago, hypnosis was big. Paul McKenna had a TV show, and everywhere you looked, there were touring hypnotists, playing big theatres across the cities. But lately, it seems to have fallen out of favour. The Daily Mail and all of the tabloids suddenly came up with their scare stories about, I was hypnotised and then I thought I was a chicken for the rest of my life.
Yes.
I married a lovely man and he turned into a serial killer after being hypnotised, which caused a lot of scaremongering. But hypnosis is really safe.
Completely safe as long as it's done by people who know what they're doing. I mean, it has its dangers, but then so does fire eating on stage, doesn't it, Rufus?
It does indeed. It does. It does. I really like that I can have a beard now. It's nice. Well, so tell us about your actual Fringe show, because a hypnosis show in an hour. That's really tight, and also what makes you stand out from all of those other, let's face it, copycat hypnotists who have come to the Fringe this year?
So the first challenge for me last year was getting my show down to an hour, because usually it's at least 90 minutes. So I pick out my favourites sketches for my first show. So what you're seeing is basically the greatest hits of my 4 years of touring my show, and I'm always thinking about new sketches and things to incorporate into my hypnosis show to try and push the boundaries and modernise it. So I'm using all my best stuff, all my favourite pieces, plus the fact that I'm doing it 30 times in a month. They're developing and they're getting tighter, and I'm coming up with new stuff all the time, especially as new stories break. If I feel that they're worthy of being incorporated into my show, I'll try and write them in, as long as I'm not crowbarring stuff in just for the sake of it. But I've got some really nice stuff that I've written recently based on modern fads.
That's really interesting, because most hypnotists, I would think, and indeed from my own experience, they have a show, and the show's very set, and they have the little skits and the bits of shtick that they do, and they stick to that very, very rigidly. Whereas you're saying that your show, adapts and changes to suit what's currently going on in popular culture.
Well, because popular culture is adapting and changing like it never has before. I mean, a hypnotist in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s would be doing the same kind of sketches that have been done. I don't know if you know Ormond McGill, who wrote the Encyclopedia of Stage Hypnosis, which is our Bible, and I read that as in my research when I was learning it, and the sketches that he was doing are the same sketches that all the other hypnotists I'd watched online or bought the DVDs or went to see live, they were all doing the same stuff. Put a pair of X-ray glasses on someone and they think the audience are naked, and suddenly they think they're naked. It's good stuff because the audience probably haven't seen it before, but if you're interested in hypnosis, you've seen it before, and there's nothing new there, there's nothing exciting. So I try and put my own twists and modernise it because people are changing and society's changing, and you've got technology and culture and new things coming up all the time. So I thought, rather than just getting the reaction of someone seeing the audience as naked, I wanted to know what they were visualising. So I get them to see me naked, but I get them to draw me. So you've got the reactions, but you've also get the actual visual evidence of what they're seeing, and people see me differently. Someone sees me with a huge cock or a tiny cock or a woman's body or an alien body, and you've got all these different people, and they're seeing the same thing. They're seeing a guy in a suit on a stage, but they're seeing it differently because I give them individual differences, and I think that plays to it's treating my volunteers with respect as well, because they're not sheep. They're not all going to behave the same way, so give them the chance to shine as individuals. I mean, that's where the world's headed, right? Reality TV and everything. It's all about turning normal people into personalities, and if I can do that in an hour, then I feel that's one way I can contribute to society.
So what do you think, Ben? Does it sound like a show you'd want to see?
It does. It sounds like something. There's a few shows on here and there where you can get involved, but that sounds like a much more interesting way to be involved in a Fringe show. You come through the Fringe to see stuff, and then suddenly you're part of a sketch, and as you say, you're opening up to their own individual personalities to kind of shine through on the stage. Yeah, it sounds really cool. I'd be interested in seeing it.
Because one of the things that I saw your show a couple of days ago, and it was fantastic. But one of the things that you say to them is that you will be very aware of what you're doing. What's happening on stage for you will be true.
Yes.
So when your volunteers are on stage, if they believe that they're at the Rio Olympics performing, they really believe it.
Yeah.
For them, they're in front of 100,000 people, performing the javelin throw or weightlifting.
Yeah, and you wake up and you see their eyes change. Like, you see the way that a real Olympian would behave in that situation. You see the heaviest weight anyone's ever lifted, and it's not just a balloon on the floor. Actually, it is just a balloon on the floor, but they see there's massive weight, and you see them shaking. And if you tell an actor to do it, you'll see the actor making themselves shake, but they don't have that innate body trembling, fear on their face and the lift, and you can see the heart beating, or and when they lift it up, and their arms start shaking, and the audience gasp as if they were actually watching this amazing weight being lifted, because the performance is so realistic, because it's real for them.
Fantastic. Yeah, Ben, so when are you going to come along to this and get hypnotised now?
Well, as we said, I'm susceptible to it.
You are.
So might as well.
Yeah, good.
If I could lift a balloon, I'd be quite happy.
If you could lift a balloon, I'd be really impressed.
I'd look really tough.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Because you never look tough.
I never look
we
tough.
We could hypnotise you to think you're tough.
I could hypnotise you to be my Muhammad Ali.
There you go.
So, the show just sounds fantastic. And what time is that at?
It's at 1:35 every afternoon in the Liquid Rooms. I've also got a couple of evening shows on Monday and Tuesday evenings in La Belle Angèle.
Fantastic. So loads of opportunities to see you.
Plenty.
Which is
and
great.
It's free as well.
It is free, yeah. You make a donation in the bucket.
You pay to get out.
And I'm sure you don't in any way hypnotise people to give you all their money.
It crossed my mind, but that would be breaking a moral line which I took solemn vows against when I committed myself for the detriment of my career, but for the betterment of my pride.
We should call it the hypnocratic oath.
That's it. So
That's
you got
nice.
confirmation
I like that.
you will not be hypnotised into giving all your money away.
No,
Just most.
the closest thing I do to that is suggest that my volunteers should they be asked for the rest of the festival to recommend a show. The only thing that will come to their mind is Strictly Come Trancing with Ben Dali. I don't think that breaks any moral ground.
It's just about advertising.
Yes,
genius.
That's fine.
Thank you.
So moving on to the Fringe as a wider beast. Why bring a hypnosis show to the Fringe? Why did you want to come and perform in Edinburgh?
It's the biggest arts festival in the world. It's the place where, if you're going to be spotted, it's here. But also, I'm in London, and it's tough to find. London's not an area which has hypnosis, and I wasn't sure if that's because there was a gap in the market. But after doing it for a few years, I think it's probably because people down south just don't have the interest in it that people up north or in Scotland or even tourists would have. So it makes my show so much more accessible to people from all across the world, and plus it's the kind of thing, I think it's the kind of show that the Fringe is all about, right? You don't come because you want to see your favourite comedian or because you want to see your favourite piece of theatre. You come partly because of that, but also you want to try new things, and hypnosis isn't something you're sitting at home with your partner, you say, what should we do tonight? You never say, I don't know, let's go and find a fucking hypnosis show. but here it's just because it's not on people's awareness, it's there, and it's an option, and it's something that people would never really do outside of the festival. It's why Edinburgh exists, it's why it's so successful as a festival, because there are so many random things that you can talk about. It's a great talking point as well. Someone says to you, what show did you just see? You can say, I saw this piece of theatre. There's only so much you can say about it. I saw a comedian. You're not going to repeat the comedian's jokes. You're not really going to give the gist of their personality. But if you ask someone about a hypnosis show, they can talk about the stuff that they saw, or like the highlights, or if they or their friends joined in. You can give more credence to it. People would say, "Oh, I don't believe in hypnosis," but you can easily say, "Oh, I didn't believe in hypnosis till I saw Ben Dali's show, and now I'm converted." That's one of my favourite reactions I get.
That's fantastic. Yeah, Edinburgh's definitely it's a seller's market for acts like yourself, because you're a man with a case with a few props who can go anywhere. So it's got to be good for you.
I try to be mobile. I'm available.
If anyone is looking to book a stage hypnotist, please consider Ben Dali, Strictly Come Trancing. Yeah, any thoughts?
Well,
Ben, my Ben?
It must be good as well in terms of no one show is going to be the same as it was yesterday.
No.
So everyone who comes is going to get a unique experience in a show that nobody else has or will see again.
Yeah, a valid point. And because of that, my show's got a repeat viewing factor like nothing else on the Fringe.
Yeah.
If you see a comedian or a theatrical show twice, you know what to expect the second time. My show, because it's not about me, it's all about the volunteers and the way that they interpret the suggestions, and I tweak my show based on that. So it's not just the reactions, but also the sketches that you'll see each time will differ as well, based on who's in the audience and who's up on stage. So people come and see me 3 or 4 times, and there's no greater praise than someone coming to see your show multiple times when there's 3,500 other shows to choose from.
Yeah, of course.
It's a great feeling seeing familiar faces. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, well, I love that you came to the Fringe last year as a stage hypnotist when nobody else was doing that. It's so rare for anyone to bring something to Edinburgh that's not being done already.
I'm really surprised to hear that. I did not know that we'd not had hypnosis here all this time. Just assumed that everything's here. It must have been here somewhere. I just haven't seen it yet. But the fact that it's almost a new thing at the Fringe is incredible.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, there was a hypnotist that came back a few times in the 90s called Hugh Lennon, who had Hypnodog. For people who follow hypnosis and Edinburgh, Hugh Lennon is the festival's hypnotist of the last generation. But there's no one doing it this generation, and Hugh's retired. His niece has taken it over. People may have seen her on Britain's Got Talent with Hypnodog last year, so that got a bit of buzz going for hypnosis again. But there's no one doing it this year. I mean, there's no one doing it this generation, and I feel so well suited to the festival that I want to set myself up as the 21st century Edinburgh hypnotist and build a reputation, build a following, and keep my show Strictly Come Trancing developing each year, so people want to come back and see what new things I've got to put in.
Yeah. Well, that's the lovely thing about the Edinburgh Festival is the way that you can return year after year, develop your show, develop a reputation, and build it. There are so many other acts on the Fringe who've been coming back for years and could be considered Fringe superstars, but aren't mainstream famous, and are just waiting to flip over, go over the top into the battlefield of mainstream celebrity. And perhaps we're ready for mainstream entertainment to be interested in hypnosis again. It was huge in the 90s.
I think so. I think there's a gap in the market and it needs to be filled. And Darren Brown's obviously the closest name attached to it, whereas most of his stuff is mind reading with aspects of hypnosis. But there's no one since Paul McKenna who's been on the TV, and I don't know if that's because there hasn't been anyone commercial, or because he stopped performing mostly. He does therapy in California most of his life and self-help work.
Which I bet pays considerably more than the TV stuff.
He is very, very wealthy. I'd be happy if I could be 1% as wealthy as him, as long as I'm performing on stage and making a career out of it. I mean, 1% of his wealth would still be more than I would earn in decades in an office.
And nobody wants to work in an office.
No, we don't.
To all you people who work in offices, we love you and we're glad you do it because it lets us do this.
Yeah, thanks.
So one final question then, Ben, just before we end this. Ben Dali.
Right, okay,
Ben Dali, the hypnotist.
I knew.
I can answer it as well if you want.
You're not that interested.
I'll answer it as well.
Okay, you can answer it as well.
Okay.
But
You go first.
No, you go first.
We'll ask the hypnotist first. Okay.
Right.
One last question. Are you or are you not an evil hypnotist?
I am not an evil hypnotist. I mean, obviously all hypnotists have potential. I mean, if I were ever booked for a student gig, I could bring out the more X-rated stuff. I mean, I had a guy on stage shagging a mop with a Princess Leia mask today. That was good fun. But it's all in good taste. There's no nudity, no humiliation, and I understand what people do and don't want to do. And you read it and you push them to their limits without ever insulting them, because there's so much faith that someone puts in you, not just by coming up on stage, but by allowing you partial control of their unconscious. Like, there's no greater praise that someone can give than letting a stranger have that control over them. And it would be disgraceful of me to ever abuse that trust. And I don't think my audience would appreciate it either. So I Rufus, am not an evil hypnotist.
Well, and Ben, are you an evil hypnotist?
Rufus, I am not a hypnotist.
Well, there you go.
But I may be evil.
But you may be evil. You're quasi evil.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much, Ben Dali, Strictly Come Trancing. Every day at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, and some extra shows.
Yep, and I'm also doing mind reading guest spots across the festival as well, because I've got a really good mind reader mentalist as well, but I can't fit that in to my 60-minute hypnosis show. So people can see me almost every day at Southside Cabaret in the street, venue 239 at 9 o'clock, or just check my website to see where else I'll be performing. That's bendali.co.uk/Edinburgh 2016.
Check it out.
Self-promotion.
I'm scared that he hypnotised us to let him do that.
I'm scared that
Wake up.
Oh. Why am I naked?
Put it back on.
Thanks very much, Ben.
Thank you.
Good luck with the
Cheers.
show, and I will take Ben along to see you, and you can hypnotise him for me.
Look forward to it.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Ben. See you on
me too.
stage.
I think so, yes.
So that's the end of the Not So Secret Society podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please share it. Let people know that we're here. Ben and I absolutely need the attention.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. If you've got an opinion on anything we've said, or you just want your voice to be heard,
Keep it to yourself.
please comment below. And we'll definitely read your comments and we'll respond in kind. Thanks so much. I'm Rufus, this is Ben.
I'm Ben.
That's Ben, and this was the Not So Secret Society podcast at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe in association with BroadwayBaby.com.
.com.